In Montreal, the speculation around Shea Weber's injury took a couple of twists and turns today.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
First, our old good friend Nick Kyprios threw the following out on social media, and let's just say it got a reaction. Wrote Kipper, sources say Shea Weber injury has his season likely over and his future in question. Told injuries related to the foot that was surgically repaired 2 years ago. While waiting for swelling to alleviate and further confirmation, surgery seemed unavoidable going into this week. End of tweet. Again, that's from Nick Kyprios earlier today.
And that followed up Bob McKenzie, who started all of this concern yesterday with a similar idea.
He threw out the lower body injury thing, so this continues the story. So, just before Tim and I came up on air here at around 5 p.m. Eastern, the Montreal Canadiens sent out a brief statement. I will read the statement verbatim regarding Shea Weber. Wrote the Habs. Shea Weber underwent a reevaluation of his left ankle by orthopedic specialists in Green Bay, Wisconsin today. This evaluation took place after the swelling in his ankle had decreased. Shea suffered an ankle sprain and his recovery period is expected to be 4 to 6 weeks. Full recovery is expected. Shea suffered the injury during a game against the Devils February the 4th. Mm-hmm. So a lot happened today, Tim. I almost don't know what to ask. Your initial impressions here at around 5:15 Eastern
People were breaking down what the cap penalties would be if Shea Weber retired on what is left of his 14-year, $110 million contract that still has 6 seasons remaining. So this is good news, I think, to hear this from the Montreal Canadiens. Whether or not you believe it, whether or not you think that this is the end of the story and that he will be back in 4 to 6 weeks or take the rest of the season off, depending on how it goes for the Montreal Canadiens, and will be back next year, that would seem like good news. Then having remembered that he's now missed 83 games over the last 3 seasons due to injury, and that he was limited to 26 games because of the foot injury suffered in the season opener a couple years ago, and eventually forced the Canadiens to shut him down and then later required surgery, right? Like, there have been a couple of high profile cases in Montreal where it was thought to be one thing only to have that player later shut down and more significant damage revealed, right? Carey Price went through it, and Shea Weber has gone through it.
And they're not the only organization that's had some swings and misses or hasn't felt the need to completely be truthful.
You weren't here yesterday. We talked about the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid and the need to disclose and whether or not sometimes you find further damage when you look closer. Like, things like that happen, and I understand it. But I don't know what to make of this other than to take it at face value and say that's good news for Shea Weber, it's good news for the Montreal Canadiens, and maybe better news for the Nashville Predators, because if he had have retired, they would have ate it.
That would have been a penalty, and it would have lasted for several years.
Now, he would have just gone to LTIR, which is what most people do except for Roberto Luongo, and you probably wouldn't have seen any cap penalty. But the numbers in the cap penalty are kind of funny to look at.
Well, we're about to learn a lot about the relationship between Shea Weber and the Predators, I think. If this story goes down the road that Kipper is implying it goes down, because you're right, Shea Weber can just stay on LTIR. Predators are kind of unscathed here. Habs get an extra 7.8 of cap room where they can do some stuff with.
7.857.
Right? So you're right. In all likelihood, because I sometimes run to the worst part of the story. It's my best and worst feature at times. Mm-hmm. But let's assume this is just an LTIR story. Let's assume, because the Habs are not going to make the playoffs.
No, it's a 4 to 6 right now.
But if it's a high ankle sprain, it's 6, and he's gone for the season. See, that's what that statement that the Habs sent out didn't tell you. What kind of an ankle sprain is it? If it's a high ankle sprain, he's probably gone for 6. We're 6 weeks out from the end of the season. He's done. But they didn't say that there.
No.
So there's some gray. They also didn't address what Kipper was talking about regards to the long-term well-being of that specific foot. That did need surgery in 2018.
Also, you understand that Shea Weber is like the human incarnation of the brawny man, and if they were close to a playoff spot with 2 games remaining in the season, he would work his ass off to try and come back and get into the lineup, right?
Yeah,
like, that's just
might not be the smartest thing to do.
No,
but
it might not. But he's done it before, and he'll probably do it again.
And we'll find out if he's done it before at his own detriment long-term.
Right.
This is a Shea Weber thing. Look, there's a lot of miles on Shea Weber. He's had a fantastic career. He's represented this country numerous times.
He's playing like 25 minutes a game for these guys.
He's a horse. He's an absolute thoroughbred out there. He's 34, and age is undefeated. That we know.
Right.
So I'm not discounting anything I heard today from Kipper. Like, you just don't throw that out. And the fact that, and to me, the Habs release really didn't alleviate any of that.
Well, there were two very trusted sources throwing out that this was something that could be long term.
Bob and Kipper, correct.